President Biden speaking in Pittsburgh this afternoon, where he will unveil that $2.2 trillion infrastructure plan. Romaine Bostick, my colleague in the afternoon. He spoke to former U.S. Treasury Secretary and Bloomberg contributor Larry Summers to get his thoughts on the plan.
Building Back Better was the central theme of Joe Biden's presidential campaign. It's what the country needs. This is all very much on the right track. I'm particularly excited about the infrastructure investment program. I'm particularly excited about the green aspects. I think we've seen in this Zoom era how important it is to universalize broadband to reach every American. These are investments that are going to pay off in a growing economy and are going to, I think, generate significant tax revenue down the road that they have not taken any credit for. These are investments that are backloaded. Very little of this money is going to be spent in the next several years, when I think overheating is a substantial risk. So I think this is very, very much in the right direction. Frankly, I'd have liked to see infrastructure investments and green investments closer to the scale that the president talked about during his campaign, because I think both on building the economy's capacity grounds and, frankly, after this current period when we're likely to have an overheat and secular stagnation returns, we could do more. But as you said, the president's going to be unveiling his plans in several stages, and we don't have the full picture yet. But on net, I'm encouraged by what I see.
Well, you've had the era of presidents in the past and other policy makers here. And so when you talk about these sort of grand economic proposals, just with regards to the political will to get this type of stuff done, is it better to do these sort of grand proposals, these sort of where you're sort of doing it in these big blocks, these big stages, or is it more important maybe to narrow down the focus and say, just pitch something that's only on renewable energy and then come back and maybe do something that's only on something different? What's the approach?
I don't presume to have any sense at all that I'm going to be able to judge the way to get things through Congress better than Joe Biden. And I can't imagine a better advisor than his chief of staff, Ron Klain, who has immense advice and experience on these matters. And my former colleague, Brian Deese at the NEC, these are people who've got decades of experience in managing their way through the political system. In general, I think combining things is likely to be a good idea. It's likely to be a good idea because it lets you tap into multiple different sources of support. It's likely to be a good idea because it's such a lift to get anything through, particularly the Senate, given all the procedural ways of delaying things, that I think creating a combination is a good idea.